Coming to you live from Fayetteville, Arkansas in the beautiful Appleby Business Center studios. It's time for Northwest Arkansas Business Radio with Adam Robison. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Northwest Arkansas Business Radio. We have another great guest in studio with us today. We have Patrick Pulliam, who's here from eXp Realty, who's here to talk about not only buying and selling a house, but what goes into picking the right partner to do that with you. So Patrick, welcome to Northwest Arkansas Business Radio. Tell us a little bit about yourself and the company.
Adam, thanks for having me on, man. This is fantastic. I am Patrick Pulliam. I am best known as a couple of things. One, a believer. Two, a father and a husband. And three, a real estate agent and team leader for the future team at eXp Realty, building the future, developing the future of Northwest Arkansas through real estate.
Awesome. Now, we know if you've been in Arkansas for 5 minutes, especially this northwest corner, there are a bunch of realtors in this area. I'm just going to jump right to the meat of the issue. What sets you apart from everybody else?
Yeah, man. In 2017, I was eager and excited to get licensed in real estate, coming from a background of a different business and realizing that there was a strong suit that I had that I could possibly get into real estate and maybe sell one house and maybe make a couple $1,000s. And that was the thing that brought me in. So my brother-in-law encouraged me to get my license and I jumped in, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But now after a couple of years of working the business, I'm in my 6th year, we've developed a team. And the one thing that we do that I don't think many companies or any company does as well as us is our online marketing. And as we know from seeing houses on Facebook and on Zillow, and if you type into Google, you're going to get bombarded with homes, that there's a strategy to that. So when you're selling your house, we're the guys to do it because we know how to market to the community.
All right, really quick to set the hook. This is going to be a very interesting episode. So let's go ahead and rewind and talk about what the experiences were in your life that not just led you to become a realtor, but led you to become an entrepreneur, to step out and to do this business journey on your own.
Well, Adam, that's a great topic to talk about. So I want to just talk about my high school years real quick. I was living in East Texas at the time, born in Rogers, but raised in East Texas and Tyler. And when I hit a point in high school, I had gotten into some trouble, let's be honest, gone through a little rocky path, and I'm glad to do that.
We all hit a bump along the way.
An early age. So I went into a little bit of a path there, and my way to climb out was realizing that, okay, sure, I play sports and I'm a basketball player, but I'm not even the best guy on the team. I don't think I'm going further with this in my life because our team was not very good and I was not playing. So that led me to look into some different options to spend my time while I was in school. So I started a business, a very small local business called Pat's Hats. I printed hats, custom and bulk, sold them around the community. Met a lot of awesome people doing it, sold to a lot of the kids in different schools around the area, as well as ours, out of my trunk. Mind you, I had a 2000 Impala, not a big truck or anything like that, so it was kind of funny, but I learned a lot there, and that just kind of jumped me into the entrepreneur game.
So you've always been the kind that knew you were going to establish the game for yourself. You weren't going to play somebody else's game, right?
I think so, and a lot of that stemmed just from re-identifying during that time period and going, what can I do to stand out in my own way?
Yeah, I bet. Wow. So there had to be some challenges along the way because it sounds like you probably didn't do things the easy way. In fact, you may have bypassed the easy way on a lot of your decisions. So what were some of the challenges, maybe even a turning point in your life that influenced you to just really commit to this and know that this was your path?
When I first got my real estate license, how I was paying my small amount of bills was waiting tables at a local restaurant.
Okay.
And we hit a turning point, change in management at the restaurant. I had just got licensed a couple months before that. And let's just say I was let go. Let's just put it out there, okay? I was let go. And I had a choice to make on whether I wanted to pick up another job, a job where I needed more hours and attention into that work, or I could just step out in faith and work really hard in the business I was in. I knew it wasn't going to be easy. I was not the best salesman at the time, didn't know the most, still don't, but I worked really hard in the business and climbed up from there.
Wow. Very good. Very good. Can you walk us through the journey of your business from its inception to where it stands today?
Sure. So I'm in my 6th year, as I said, as a real estate agent. Now, there's a couple ways you can go about that, but I started at a big company called Keller Williams, who's still the top selling company in this area. Working for a team with my brother-in-law, as I mentioned. I then ventured on to a company called Fathom Realty, where I worked on my own and really stepped out truly on my own, paying for my own marketing. All of the small detailed items were on me day to day. And from there, recently, in the past 3 years, joined eXp Realty, partnered up with a friend, Grant, and we together have worked together at eXp Realty, calling ourselves the Future Team. And we last year won the Diamond Award and sold over 11 million in sales, which is another way of saying we're just making a living doing this.
Wow. That's that's a really nice way of saying it. And it actually leads me into my next question. Now, Patrick, I met you in the networking circles of Northwest Arkansas. You've got a bit of a swagger to you. When you walk into a room, you carry a different vibe from everyone else. What I'm hearing you say is you've kind of earned that swagger over this last 3 years specifically, but 6 years in a career. Would you say that they're getting something special when they come to you and your partner?
I think that we really know what we're doing. We are the next generation of real estate agents and business people, especially in this area. And so we do know what we're doing. And part of that is feeling like maybe the young guy in the room sometimes. So I got to step up. If I've got anxiety inside of me, then I can't show it on the outside. So that's really what's going on, but I appreciate that compliment.
Yeah, no problem. So that was one area where you've just kind of learned that you can't let them see you sweat. What other pieces of advice would you have someone who's stepping out in their entrepreneurial journey, whether it's realty or something else? What are a couple of tips and tricks you've learned that made you a little bit more savvy in your journey?
I think the people that do the best in business, especially like ours, are those who seek mentorship and have the motivation to just get through the good times and the hard times. So most importantly, I was talking to my cousin the other day who's just been licensed in Texas. Congrats to him. But he needs to find the person who's going to help him get to the next level. Mm-hmm. You can't do it on your own because you have to stand on the shoulders of giants to get to where you want to go. So do not quietly move into something and not speak out and talk to other individuals who are doing what you want to do, because those are the people who are going to help you get to the next level. Absolutely.
Now, I know, Patrick, you don't have the privilege of knowing this until I share it with you here, but we've recorded several episodes this week, and that seems to be a reoccurring theme that we're hearing about is even if you've got the swagger of this gentleman who's across the table from me, he's still looking for partners. He's still looking for allies and comrades to help him build his business. And so any listener out there in Northwest Arkansas Business Radio, hear this reoccurring theme that's coming up, and that is you're better to do it with someone else, or at least take advice, input, suggestion from someone else, because it's going to help you quite a bit. All right, so let's go ahead and keep going. Now, you said that you believe you guys know what you're doing when it comes to buying and selling houses, which takes us to the unique factor with your business. So what sets you guys apart, without going into anything that's going to, share secrets? What sets you guys apart?
Well, I think that beyond our marketing plan that reaches online to a specific audience, we have a very unique way of approaching the community and building our sphere. We host community events every couple of months, every other month, I should say, at different local restaurants. We shout out and make it a priority to bring light to locally owned businesses. Shout out to Big Sexy Food, Wright's Barbecue, and a couple of other spots that we've hosted events at, where they're more than generous to serve us drinks and food, and we bring the community together. So that's one thing that makes us stand out and has just helped with our word of mouth growth.
All right. Every one of those individuals are just fantastic partners. I had coffee with Big Sexy the other day, and we were talking about some community efforts he's making. So definitely echo your shout out there. Fantastic. Are there any special products or services that you guys offer? You've mentioned something about maybe taking more of a community perspective. So do you think that is what gives you the edge with community, or is it something else?
I think there's a personal touch to this business. A lot of agents in this area do a lot of the same thing. And so the personal touch and the system that we run off of keeps it to where we are always on point with our clients and customers. And it's not uncommon for our clients to turn into lifelong friends and people who then trust us to do business down the line with us and those that we send to them as well.
Yeah, I know I didn't get to go to your event at Wright's Barbecue, but I did. I was talking to a buddy yesterday in this office, actually, and he was talking about the last event. I told him that you were coming in, and he was like, "Oh man, those guys know how to throw an event." And he talked about how it was just attending that event was above and beyond anything they had attended. A lot of us networkers hang out alike, and so we get to see what a lot of businesses do. But he was completely putting you over yesterday for talking about the fact that you guys know how to throw a party and get people together and just help build relationship, which is one of the main things we do here at Northwest Arkansas Business Radio. So I think we have a similar mission in that regard. In your experience now, in the 6 years you've been doing this, obviously COVID, I'm thinking, lands right in the middle of all of that. So that was a great big deal. What other trends or changes in the business are you noticing as you continue to grow in the business?
We're just continuing to take the real estate business further online. And as you've seen in the past couple of years, there's been a lot of testing and trials with Web3, and I don't want to get too far into that because it's white noise to some people and trying to understand the next generation of online, if you will. But taking the business further online with whether that's virtual tours of properties, whether that's just deeper information, whether that's AI-generated reports, we are looking and seeing that robots can do more for us in this business. And we've always said that you can't physically create that relationship, which is why you need the representation of a realtor. But there are so many resources to help within that it's just incredible where the business is going.
Yeah, AI is blowing everything up. Just one of the things that you mentioned. I was even thinking of an AI virtual tour. You know, like I love those little tours on the website that take you just to the pictures that you've already looked at. But how about something that opens up a cabinet door or turns on a bathtub to look at water pressure or something like that? I mean, it's going to be incredible what it's going to be like to shop for a house very soon because the technology is here and it's just going to take someone who has enough time to use it, right? So, any advice now that you've been through this for 6 years, and I know you still have a long career ahead of you, I'm assuming you do anyway, any advice for someone who's just starting out as a realtor?
Don't go into debt. No, I don't know.
I love it.
Like I said at the beginning, this is a business where it may seem like there are a lot of people, but there's few that are succeeding at a real level, and you need to take mentorship from those who are ahead of you. If you make a big sale, if you accomplish something large, it's really never just you who did that, but a combination of multiple people involved and things that happen for you. So to have that humility to look up and say thank you rather than to look at yourself is huge and something I'm still learning as a young guy. So yeah.
Well, I love what you say about mentorship. That's a stack of Bibles that I'll stand on and preach from every day, because I think that so much of what we can learn from and really begin to polish up areas of our life with are the stories of people who have come and done this before us. So if I'm sitting out there and I'm an aspiring realtor and I don't know where to find mentorship, I'm not sure who to call, I don't know how to just begin that conversation, what does that journey look like? If I'm looking for a mentor, what should I do?
The best thing you can do is to really, if I'm being honest, call on the agents who are listing the type of houses that you want to list and start to collaborate. What I've noticed is some of the more successful agents and brokers and even company owners and leaders are the ones that are the first ones to answer your questions when you say, hey, how did you get into this development opportunity? I mean, this is massive what you're doing, right? And they'll explain a lot of the relationship that they built and the things that they did. And a lot of it will revolve around, well, I worked really hard, but there's always more to it. But I would say call on those agents that you see that are doing a fantastic job out there, and really just get even 5 minutes on the phone to ask questions.
Yeah, what a great idea. It just never occurred to me. But that sounds like a great idea to learn and grow and begin to find your mentor. And one of the things we have to remember is at the end of that conversation, sometimes it just may be making an ask, right? Sometimes you have to make an ask of yourself,
Right.
and ask if that person will mentor you. And every experience I've had, when someone doesn't have the bandwidth to mentor me, they know someone who does, and they'll point me in the right direction. So, love that answer. I thought that was great. So let's talk about the future. What's the future plans for the future real estate team? I can't wait to hear about it, because I mean, you're sitting here with a smile on your face. I feel like you know something I don't know. So let's just go ahead and get into it. What's the future hold for your company?
Well, we're doing some exciting stuff. I am within the next month going to be licensed as a broker, which
Nice.
increases our opportunities in sales and opportunities that we have. So be on the lookout for that. We've got some awesome partnerships forming throughout Northwest Arkansas, ranging all the way down to even Fort Smith. And we'll be releasing some pretty exciting stuff. Can't say too much, so I'm being vague with this, but be looking out for some of the things we're doing. And we've got some awesome listings right here in Northwest Arkansas, Rogers to Fayetteville. Keep a lookout. And I've just got to add one thing. I wanted to give a shout out to my wife, Emily,
Smart.
who very recently, has started a nonprofit called Just the Beginning. And it is for women who have aged out of foster care, a place for them to grow and develop as young women and get set on the right path in their life. So shout out to you, Emily. You're amazing. And shout out to God for the opportunity to be here.
That's awesome, man. I love that. We'll have to get Emily on and let her do her own episode, because I too have a heart for not only children in foster care, but what happens when they are dismissed from foster care. There's just this big hole of unknown.
Exactly.
And so God bless anyone who's working with those individuals. And man, thanks for that. So based on your experiences, I want to give you one more chance to just kind of cue it up. And if you were to just put all of your experience into a big, I don't know, snowball or something like that, what's going to be made up of that? When you're looking at somebody who says, man, I want to be this guy when I grow up, what are those things that they need to be looking at developing, maybe daily habits, something along that line?
Read your Bibles. If you want to go where I'm trying to go. But I want to take it one more time back just to the mentorship piece of this, and talk about the importance of having people on your side.
Yeah.
And choosing who you listen to, right? So I imagine people listening to this want to go a lot further than I am right now. So maybe you're listening to it, or maybe you need to tune me out and listen to someone who's further than I am, so that you can really develop and go in the right direction. But don't try to do things yourself. If you can partner up, team up, and bring someone else with expertise in to give you advice or help you, that's what you need to do. And always keep your head up.
That's excellent, Patrick. Thank you so much. It turned out you have a very inspiring story. I can't wait to learn more about your wife's nonprofit. I think that's going to be great too. Tell our listeners how they can find out more about the future team at EXP, and how they can find out more about you when it comes to socials and all that other good stuff.
Absolutely. So our website is futurearkansas.com. You can go there and see, obviously, listings for sale in the area, but you can also see information about our next event, usually before social media. If you want to follow us on Instagram, I am at Patrick Pulliam, and our business page is at Your Future Team. On Facebook, future team at eXp Realty, and feel free to friend me and message me if you want to talk more after this podcast. Patrick Pulliam on Facebook. I'm open to that as well.
All right. Fantastic. That's going to give you an idea or at least a sneak snapshot into this gentleman's world and the future team. They're doing incredible, innovative things over at eXp Realty. It's the reason why I have Patrick in the room. When he looked at the opportunity to share what he's doing and what his realty group is doing, he just couldn't quit smiling. And so that smile, as you can hear through the charisma and energy in his interview today, it's all fueled by wanting to find you a place to live and make sure that you find, if not your forever home, at least your for right now home until he helps you find your forever home. Patrick, to all the folks over at eXp, thanks for everything you're doing. We appreciate you so much. This has been another episode of Northwest Arkansas Business Radio. Stay tuned for more coming up here at Business RadioX.